Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Bog Panda. Just want to take a second to let you know that tonight is a very special episode. We're talking about some very serious and mature content. So, if you can't be adult about it, maybe it's time you just turn the volume down, but still keep it running so it counts as a play for us. I'm Dr. Mike. Joining me, as always, is the man who praises the rap career of Ben Shapiro.
He did better than I thought he would, but praise is a strong word, which I'm not that to use. But hi, everybody. I'm Kelly at KELLYTHUL on social media. And we appreciate you checking in. If you get a chance, we really appreciate a subscription. It's free. Hit that bell so you're notified when content as fascinating as this come out on a regular basis. And after you're over that fascination, check out a playlist called Hard No. It's the world's shortest podcast, available daily, free with your subscription, and highly enjoyable. And then when you've done all that to celebrate all things Bog Panda, be sure to check out our merchandise store, which Mike has predicted is going to have our biggest year this year. Was it just a merch store or Bog Panda overall?
Just Bog Panda overall, just
Okay.
everything. This is
I
our
think
this is our biggest year yet.
we've had a good start. So it's a possibility. So, and with shows like today's, I'm sure that the sky's the
Can't
limit.
lose. Can't
That's
lose.
right.
And of course, if you guys haven't figured out already, we're talking about drinking pee. So while I was perusing social media, a video that popped up on my feed was an excerpt from a Learning Channel special, because that's where you would find this, about people with weird habits. And this guy drinks pee, and he is espousing the virtues of drinking pee. Then they introduce you to his girlfriend, who you assume is just going to be like, I think it's, the normal talk show thing. Like, I think it's disgusting and I'm leaving him if he doesn't stop it soon. But instead, she's like, I also drink pee. She's like, and they attribute this to great health, good skin, hydration. So first and foremost, where are you at on pee drinking personally prior to seeing this?
So everybody knows, not pee.
That's what he says.
That's water, and I like water. so so I'm going to stick with water. Um, no, thank you. I mean, Bear Grylls, the survivalist guy. That's kind of one of his staples. Is that, well, you got to do that sometimes. Really good Better Call Saul episode that occurred in it. I've never had the inclination, and hope I'm never in a situation where that's the only recourse open to me. What is your stance? Standing, I assume, but what is your stance on drinking pee?
I would probably die first of dehydration before I would drink pee. Um, I I'm not like a germaphobe, but I'm enough of a basic hygiene person that I'm not going to drink pee. I'm especially not going to drink anyone else's pee, which is another thing that comes up in this, that they
Yeah.
have and do drink each other's pee, which somehow seems even worse to me. I know objectively it's probably not any worse unless one of them has some weird dietary thing going on. It's probably no worse drinking your own pee versus somebody else's. I don't care. Absolutely. I would never do either, but that somehow seems even further beyond into crazy territory for me. Also too, I have seen stuff about drinking pee before, and and I don't mean like, documentaries or whatever, but the Bear Grylls kind of thing, where people have talked about it as a survival tactic. And I've seen, and I've never done a Google search on this because I don't want this on my history. But I've seen doctors in some of these things say that it's actually not a great hydration tool, because a lot of your body's salt and things like that are flushed out that way. So you're actually drinking a lot of salt and things like that back, which are going to eventually dehydrate you further. So I guess if it comes down to that or die, it's an option, but it's shouldn't be high on your list of options. And I would definitely drink like rainwater or puddle water or something like that before pee.
Yeah, and on this show, we've watched a lot of bad things.
Yeah.
Christmas Karate Miracle comes to mind as one thing. We've gone through a lot for our listeners.
We've gone through a lot.
You know, and
We have the 1,000 yard stare of people who've seen Christmas Karate Miracle.
yeah, and you know, I've had to, look ahead to see how much longer I was going to have to survive it. Maybe take a break, get away from it for a little bit. This I couldn't get through it all. There were sections I'm just like, okay, I've had enough. I'm going to jump ahead. I'm going to just skip because it kept getting worse and worse for me. So like out of the gate, you find out to his estimate, he drinks 200 gallons of pee a year. He doesn't drink water anymore. He only drinks pee. Um, the girlfriend says it's delicious, which I'm skeptical.
Yeah.
I'm not going to find out,
Yeah.
but I'm skeptical. Uh, then they started talking about using it as a topical, um, which that was tough. But the one that scarred me the most until a little bit later in the video, but for most of the video, I stayed scarred by this, was it as a mouthwash, which I would think pea breath is not achieving what you want a mouthwash to do.
Yeah. So there's two things in there that haunted me. One was using it on your skin topically. Um, I try not to judge people because it's not like I'm super into like skincare and stuff like that. So I try not to judge people on like the weird stuff that they do. And here's the weird thing about it. I genuinely like some skincare products. I'm just lazy and cheap. And the stuff that I like is super expensive. So every once in a while, like I'll post on social media that I went to Lush and I buy skincare products there. That is like a $200 trip when I go there. And it is a tiny little bag with like three products in it. The fuck out with. So it's very expensive. I genuinely think their products are good though. Like when I use them, I can see a difference in my skin. But again, lazy, cheap. So it's not something that I keep up with. So probably long term isn't having any great effect on me, but I feel good when I use it. So I try not to judge other people and their routines or whatever. And if it works for them, even if it's not working for them, if it makes them feel happy in some way or relaxed in some way, that's great. If you're not hurting yourself or anybody else or bothering anybody else, that's fine. However, if you come around me sticky with urine and reeking of urine that's recycled urine because they don't even drink water. that's that's bothering me. And it's probably not good for you if you talk to an actual doctor instead of just look up, pee drinking online or something like that. I can't imagine that nutritionists are gonna be like, this is a great idea. You should do more
Yeah,
of this.
get away from that
Yeah.
nasty water. That
Yeah.
that horrible,
And again,
horrible
I'm
water.
not a nutritionist. I eat crappy food. I live in Philadelphia. Cheesesteaks are one of the greatest things that were ever made. It's the closest thing to convincing me that God exists. There's no way that you're going to pee in my mouth or I'm putting pee near my mouth. And I can't imagine you're going to find any sort of a nutritionist or dermatologist who's going to tell you that this is a good idea. And I imagine that because these people who are espousing those views didn't provide a dermatologist or anybody like that to back them up on this. Because you would think if they're trying to convince the world at large that what they're doing is right, like they'd be like, just ask my doctor and they'll tell you. But that their experts didn't appear.
Yeah, I'm a little suspect because kind of as he began to tell his tale, he had like an anxiety attack or something kind of close to that, and he kind of alluded that I don't know if he said officially a physician or maybe it was someone more like you that's faking being a doctor. But somebody told
You
him, "Oh,
can't
yeah, try."
fake a doctor's office, Kelly.
Yeah,
That's where I'm at.
yeah. I don't. Yeah. Does it have posters up there say "drink pee"? That kind of stuff.
There's not a single pee drinking poster up
Yeah.
here.
There's a shock. But yeah, so the mouthwash got me the thing, and I thought that was the capper outside of the whole drinking each other's pee, which is another level of I want this to stop. But right towards the end, because it just wasn't bad enough. that to consume pee by drinking. It's like, well, sometimes to clear out the old nasal passages, I snort it. Um, which, if you're drinking pee, I think you'd want to keep it away from your nose. I mean, that I would think, but no. And said, oh, it clears up the sinus passages. It's like, oh, so if you'd put bleach or acid up there, you probably
Yeah, I was
clear
just
them
about to
out
say
too.
there's probably a lot of things that would do that. Corrosives that you could stick in your face.
It's not necessarily a good thing,
Yeah.
but
I
yeah,
did like so it was her first time attempting that on camera for the show to make it special for all of us.
that's right.
Um and he was really like a good cheerleader for her and really praised her ability to snort urine into her sinus cavities. And I needed to say it all out loud again, just so in case you forgot for a second, snort urine into her sinus cavities. He really praised her ability to do that. And that is one of those things that, I feel like most people don't know if they have the talent for that.
No, or want to find out if they do.
Yeah. I'll never know if I
Yeah,
have the talent for that.
yeah. And urine snorting virgin would be a great T-shirt, but can't do it. Not gonna do it.
And I'll tell you guys right now, if you ever find out that I died of dehydration, know that I have the bladder of an incontinent child. I pee every few minutes. So if I die of dehydration, know that that was a choice. I had the option of drinking pee and died. That was that's the direction I chose to go with it. While these people are snorting urine into their sinuses on TV.
With a water fountain well within distance. I mean,
Yeah.
they had alternatives. So it's crazy. So we're going to include a link to this life-changing video for you to check out. Uh, I'll I'll be you'll impress me tons if you can make it all the way through without pausing it, having to walk away, skipping sections. Um,
See, I didn't have to do any of that. There was a time when I was working in Center City, Philadelphia, and there was a video store near my office. Video stores, kids, were like hard copies of Netflix that you would go to and borrow movies from and then have to return them. And I saw this documentary there, and I'm not going to say the name of it because I'm genuinely not encouraging anybody to go and watch this. But I saw this documentary there, and it was about extreme fetishes. And I always try and watch stuff that's like weird and obscure and over the top. There's a whole subgenre, particularly in horror, which is my favorite genre, of like really extreme horror movies. And there are people like myself who, for whatever reason, subject ourselves to these things just to see if we can get through it and then have that bragging right later when other people are like, I turned it off after 5 minutes and had to get a shower and cry kind of thing. And we're just like watched it 4 times. Um, I almost threw up watching this documentary. There are images from that still haunt me to this day. Like I will wake up thinking about this documentary. I told a friend about it after I'd watched it and how I literally was gagging and portions of it. My friend came with me to the video store and immediately rented it when I returned it because they had to see what it was that finally was pushing me over the edge for it. Called me as soon as they finished it and were like, I threw up. they were they're like, I got through it, but I threw up watching this movie. And then they told someone else about it. So I'm not trying to start a vomit chain with this. So I'm not going to say the name of it, but because of that, I'm less sensitized. I don't want to say totally desensitized because this was gross. I'm somewhat desensitized or less sensitized to this sort of thing.
I'm not. Never will
Kelly, if
be.
you want to know the name of the documentary.
Yeah. Yeah, you cannot tell me offline. That would be great. So, or you can tell me it's not going to make any difference because you've told me enough to know that I'm wouldn't survive it. So, because this one took a lot out of me. And
Yeah, you would not do well in that document. Again, I was gagging and my friend threw up, but still made it through the rest of the documentary.
that's what you look for in a movie. So, all right. Well, hey, if you've got other recommendations for us of uh, further dimension, maybe you're pro pee drinking and we're just all wet, haha. And you can kind of fill us in on what we're doing. Like to hear from you on that. For the pee drinkers out there, for the rest of you normal folk, appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you soon. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, everybody.
Bog Panda.